everyone, this is Petal. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing great. As you can see, I'm outside. I'm in this little mini park in my neighborhood, and you could probably hear the cars outside. and of course, this is New York, so you probably hear a siren or two going by. But anyway, it is a little cold out here, so I hope that wherever you are a lot warmer than I am, because I am cold. I mean, compared to yesterday, this is the third time I'm trying to do this. I tried to do it at the water, and it is just cold over there, and it was so windy that I just had to stop and so come to a place where you can actually hear me. Anyways, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, that this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, Meghan, baby Archie, not baby, bad baby Archie, big boy Archie, baby Lily, Goddess of Montecito, Mama Doria, Pula, Guy, and the chickens. So that's who we are. We are incredibly biased and petty, so don't come after our faves or we'll come after you. And yes, the last couple of days I've seen a sort of like an increase in trolls in our comments. So thank you so much. I think Bassani, I don't know exactly how you say it, so I am probably saying it wrong. I think it's Bassani, who alerted me, like, please get rid of the trolls in the comments. Thank you so much. I went in and got rid of them. So, now that a lot of them have been kicked off Twitter, I heard that a lot of them are now coming onto YouTube and are infesting some of our, Sussex Positive channels. So I will definitely be keeping an eye onto that. So anyways, on to our faves. Oh my goodness, there are quite a few things that have been happening. November 9th, we're going to see Meghan. She's going to be doing an online forum for New York Times, although the New York Times can be a little bit shady. They wrote some shady articles from that, one of those royal reporters from England that's been in the Times that's been like, But, Meghan's, she did write an article for them. And she did the article about pregnancy loss with the New York Times. So, she's okay with it. So I'm like, okay. But she's doing this forum that's called Minding the Gap. The forum she'll be doing is with Melody Hobson, among a number of other people. And her part of it is called Minding the Gap. And she, Meghan and Melody would be talking about, it says, how can women reach economic and professional parity? Two groundbreaking figures joined us to discuss top-down solutions and reflect on how their shared experiences influence their thinking about creating opportunities for others. And that is so awesome. And, Melody is, also, along with a list of incredible professional experience. She also worked with Prince Harry when she actually did an interview with Prince Harry in 2017 as part of the Obama Foundation. And so they already have that built-in relationship. And she's also, on the fun fact, she's also the wife of George Lucas of Star Wars, which is really awesome. So also on November 9th, Prince Harry has his own forum that he's going to be doing. Rewired tweeted out that Prince Harry is going to be part of a forum, and so exciting. So both Meghan and Harry are going to be doing their own forums on the 9th. So who knows? Which is so amazing. So what Prince Harry is going to be doing, it says, the Internet Lie Machine. And it's going to be, it says, what is the real cost of a lie on the internet? To ourselves, our communities, our societies, as social media algorithms reward shock value over reality, as the line between fact and fiction weakens every day, as media propaganda and online hatred run rampant, we must ask, how did we get here? And how do we get out of this mess? We will hear from expert authority on the rise of digital propaganda, a former civil rights advocate who understands the collusion between misinformation and racial justice, and a global leader who is talking on misinformation in pursuit of an era of truth. He's actually going to be reunited with Rashad Robinson from Color of Change. You guys remember Rashad Robinson and Renee DeResta. So they're going to be doing that on the 9th, the same day, which is really, really awesome. And I think that especially with the Chris Boozy report that just came out with all the trolling and the hatred and the lies and all of that stuff on the internet. This is so needed. So it's so fantastic that Prince Harry is doing this on the night. And also, on the 10th, he's going to be in New York, obviously, with the Intrepid, presenting an award to soldiers who with hidden wounds. So I am looking forward to that. So it's just wonderful that they're both going to be doing something. I don't know if Meghan's going to be in New York on the 10th. I have no idea what their plans are for that. But I know on the 9th, they're both doing forums on their own. Maybe they're both doing from California, or they're in New York. Who knows? But it's just fantastic. Also, we heard from Archwell that they are committed to reach net zero, which is COP26. One of the the climate challenge is to get to net zero, and so they are committed to until 2030 to get to net zero. And so it's wonderful that they did that. Not only did they do that, they say that, but they have a plan of how the organizations that they're going to work with to help them to get there. And so, which is very interesting, because when you look at COP26 right now, so many leaders are there, and they're talking, and everybody is talking about what we should do, but nobody's really making a commitment to do things. And so it's wonderful, especially in light of the royal family, that they are there and they're talking, but they haven't committed to anything. They haven't said, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is our plan to get there. And that's the difference with what I love with Archwell then, is that they're like, okay, we're committed to get there, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is who we're going to work with to do it. Hello. Hi there. You're so cute. Hello, Mr. Ginger. Oh. And the cutest little boy just came by. Oh, he's just such, and on top of that, he's a ginger. He's such an adorable little one. So anyway, I just got a little distracted by. I probably need to have a baby. They just got distracted by a little baby. But anyway, so that is the thing that is so fantastic about that. And then talking about COP26, it's I have to laugh, because it is really hilarious, because all these leaders coming from the G20 arriving in Scotland in their private jets to a climate conference. Just like they said, some 400 private jets arriving in Scotland to a climate conference. It's oh God. And of course, at the climate conference, the royal family is there, and we're not gonna bring up we're not gonna think of the fact that they are one of the worst polluters in the UK. Probably over the world, with all the private jets and all the helicopter flights. I mean, we're not going to talk about the fact that, Prince Charles is there and Prince William, and this is a major thing for them, and their press is propping them up because they're these green eco warriors, and then I guess the Queen couldn't be there because she is not all that well. I guess, she is 95 years old. But we're not going to talk about the fact that, well, why would she be there? I mean, this is the woman who literally lobbied, again, they're in Scotland. This is the woman who literally lobbied the Scottish Parliament and got an exemption to not follow their climate laws. You know what I mean? So we're not going to talk about that. So, and then... And not only that, I mean, the worst part about it is the lobbying was done while Prince Philip was sick. She literally only gave consent for that law to go through when she got an exemption. She gave it the day after he went into the hospital. I mean, that's how ridiculous this is. The fact that the royal family are there trying to be like, oh, we're green warriors. We are environmental activists. Yeah, right. You're in Scotland where you literally lobbied and got an exemption to not follow Scottish laws. Scottish climate laws. I mean, that's how ridiculous this is. We're not going to talk about the fact that Prince William just came back from vacation where, a week ago he was spotted at the airport flying off to wherever he went to, Mustique maybe. We're not going to talk about the fact that, over a month ago, probably about a month ago, when Kate's brother got married in France, that Prince William and Kate and the family took a private jet to France and private jet back. The mayor of whatever town that was in France said, yes, they came on a private jet. We're not going to talk about it, a few weeks ago when they went to Northern Ireland, that they took a private jet. Stayed in Northern Ireland for a whole 3 hours and took the private jet back so they could be back for dinner, back at wherever they're staying, Kensington Palace or Amna Hall. We're not going to talk about the fact that Prince William basically used a helicopter like a car back and forth to Amna Hall. I know, it's ridiculous. We're not going to talk about the fact that, during the lockdown, in the suffering grant, the latest suffering grant that just came out in June, I think it came out, there was like 47 helicopter flights in the middle of lockdown. Where were they going? 47 flights in a helicopter, costing the British taxpayers over almost 700,000 pounds. I mean, we're not going to talk about all of those things, But William is there at, and Charles. We're not even going to talk about Charles like Millie. I mean, the guy only flies private and helicopters. We're not going to talk about the fact that there is literal raw sewage spilling into a river in England as we speak, and not one royal family, these eco warriors, not one of them has mentioned this. Not one of them has talked about this. Not one of them has spoken out about the fact that literal raw sewage is leaking, or whether it's deliberate or not, into a river, polluting a river. Raw sewage. Not one member of the royal family has spoken out against this. It is ridiculous, yet they are in Scotland as eco warriors, there for the climate. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Prince William is there with, some of his Earthshot people who won the prize, I guess. And, that's fine. Those people are great. They're doing a great job in their countries, and they are really serious about, the earth and the environment. The royal family is not. I don't care what they say, they are not. And so, the very fact, when we, thinking back to Earthshot when it was, and this is a little bit of an aside, when we found out about it was in late December 2019. We found out about that, that he was going to be doing this major initiative in December 2019, this major initiative, set your calendars, watches or whatever it said, that he was going to be doing this major initiative. And then on January, I think 1st or 2nd or whatever it was, it was announced that he's doing this major initiative called Earthshot. It's going to be, the biggest environmental prize. And it's going to be like the environmental is going to be on par with the Nobel Peace Prize and the whole bit, this massive major thing. And so they talked about it then, and, it was exciting for like a day or maybe more at Kensington Palace. The rest of the world were like, oh, okay, whatever, we'll move on. But it was a big thing for him. It was his first big initiative, and we didn't hear anything about Earthshot again. And then in about October, we heard about it again, and then Scobie wrote up a thing about it, and that what it's going to be, and it was this major thing. And then this year it's announced, it's going to be in October 10th, and it's like, yeah, this major thing. He wrote a book, or at least the forward of a book. They were trying to wrote the forward of a book for it, and all of this great thing. It's supposed to be this massive thing. He teamed up with the BBC to do it. Oh yeah, the same BBC that he said killed his mother, yeah, that same BBC that, because she did an interview with brown guy Martin Bashir that, they killed his mother. That's the same BBC he teamed up with to do this. Anyway, so BBC is a partner, and BBC is doing, going to be broadcasting and all of this stuff, and they say where it's going to be. So everybody knew where this was going to be. It was hyped. It was, all the royal reporters were tweeting out about it. Everybody was supposed to be really excited about this. And so the day came, and I'm thinking, this is going to be an event. All of England is going to be there. Prince William is who they have been bowing down to this guy, kissing his feet. They're ready to kick Prince Charles to the curb and, put him on the throne, and poor Prince Charles is like, oh my gosh, with his little fat fingers are like, wait, I've been waiting 70 years for this. Can you just give me a moment? Let me just enjoy this for a minute before you kick me to the curb and put William on the throne, you know? And so, so I'm thinking, you know, oh, everybody is going to be there. Everybody's going to be like, oh, this is amazing. They're going to be out there. There's going to be crowds of people there celebrating this thing. And then the day came, and then the pictures came. And it was like, there was nobody there. And I was like, where is everybody? I mean, they had the bars all around. They had all of this stuff happening. There was no one there. Other than the cameras, other than, you know, the royal reporters out there, nobody else was there. And so I was like, well, you know, it's Sunday. Maybe people are home and, you know, they don't want to come out at home. Maybe they don't watch it on television, have big ratings, you know. And then you see the ratings come out. And it's just like, oh my God. Only 3.5 million people watch this show. And it was just like, are you serious? This is supposed to be his big initiative. This is supposed to be the thing that would define his rule. This is going to be the thing that defined, you know, who he is and all of those things. This is his big initiative. And out of almost 50 million people in England, only 3.5 million people cared enough to watch this. And it's like, how is that possible? You know, because you think about the BBC, at that time slot, at the 8 p.m. time slot, they usually, they average at 5 million people for their shows at that time. And that's supposed to be his major initiative, only got 3.5 million people. That means BBC lost over 1.5 million viewers, what they normally get at that time slot. Which begs the question, you know, BBC carries all this royal stuff, and you're thinking, at what point do you think BBC is going to be like, oh, you know, carrying royal stuff is great, but we're kind of losing money. I mean, I don't know if they go by advertiser dollars or what, but at what point do you think they'll be like, I don't know that carrying royal stuff is really beneficial for our channel, because we're certainly not making money out of it, and we're losing visitors. I mean, you guys can remember when Prince Philip died they kind of overdid it with, because they were, you know, broadcasting this all day, and people were like, we don't want to be watching, you know, this all day we don't want this all day on our channel and on our channels. And so over 100,000 people complained, and they had to be like rethink their, you know, broadcasting. But people don't, I mean, again, these are people that's supposed to be bowing down to this guy. These are people that's supposed to be like worshiping him, putting him on a crown and kicking Prince Charles to the curb. How do you only get 3.5 million people to watch your biggest initiative? And not only that, it was announced at the end that they're coming to America next year. You think like, oh, okay, you know, wherever they're gonna do next year, at least you think it's gonna be a Commonwealth country, and you're like, America? What are you doing in America? I mean, right north of us is a Commonwealth country named Canada. Why not Canada? Why not, you know, go promote some Commonwealth country? You know, but as we know, even though they look down their noses as Americans, when they need money to fund their projects, where do you think they come? That's why they're so happy to have the Jeff Bezos funding his project, why he's so happy to have, you know, Michael Bloomberg. Although, I don't know why you'd want to have Michael Bloomberg fund your project, at least. I don't know that they did due diligence with Michael Bloomberg at all. I mean, you know, they might have wanted to know that there are a few women that signed an NDA that could charge him with, you know, sexual harassment. Or maybe they need to have spoken to Elizabeth Warren about that, you know. But hey, maybe it's, you know, again, it's the royal family. It's part of the royal family brand, you know, whatever. Moving on. But you think about it. It's my thing with that is, you know, they're coming to America. Like, what do you have to sell? America is not the, you know, you think about it. You come to bring this award to America. You're going to need to you know, you're gonna need some kind of press to, you know, cover this award. I mean, how are you going to sell this? What press are you going to sell this to? Oh, I only had 3.5 million people like in my country. Yes, they're supposedly bowing down to me, but only 3.5 million care to watch my show. I mean, how are you going to sell that to like a network or something? I mean, how are you going to sell like, or maybe, I guess maybe they're going to do, you know, We Are Royals and assume that Americans care that, you know, a royal family is having an environmental show. Like, I mean, let's just say I wouldn't want to be the person that is selling that to someone, because how do you sell that? Exactly, how do you sell that? I mean, that's the thing that I have. But anyway, but the thing about it, and you think about, okay, you know, this is his big initiative. This is something that, you know, they touted that it's his idea. He came up with it, and it is fantastic. The only thing is, there's something very interesting that happened that, you know, nobody really talks about. That when they tweeted out what that initiative was going to be, somebody else tweeted out about the Earthshot that you really, just the majority of Sussex squad know about it because we were all tweeting about it. But at the same time they tweeted it, the Goldman Prize tweeted about the Earthshot Prize, or at least Earthshot. The Goldman Prize tweeted about Earthshot. And we're going to get back to what the Goldman Prize is from in a minute. But the Goldman Prize tweeted, and this is what they said. It says, an idea from Goldman Prize winner I. Shops, Belgium, 2008, in the spirit of the moonshot. Let's not destroy what keeps us alive. I call for an Earthshot to save the planet in the next decade. A small step for the global community, a giant leap for the planet. So what? And you're like, what? What do you mean? That Earthshot is an idea from I. Shops? That's right. So if you've been thinking that Earthshot was Prince William's idea, think again. It was not. Earthshot, the first time we ever heard of Earthshot, it came from Belgium environmentalist Ignace Shops. Ignace Shops he's the president of Europark, the Europark Federation, which is like the largest environmental organization in Europe. The first time anybody heard about the Earthshot came from Ignace Shops, and we know that because at a Europark conference on September 25th, 2019, that's when Ignace Shops talked about an Earthshot. Including, and he was literally, we have picture of him on stage talking about it with the same moon, talking about JFK and moonshot. And he tweeted about it, and he said, maybe it's time for an Earthshot and to declare our dependency on nature. Europark 2019. Not only that, he tweeted that, and also Marianne Bibosh, I don't know how she says her name, but it might be Marianne Bibosh, tweeting on the same day, September 25th, 2019, she says, President of Europark, Ignace Shops, calls for an Earthshot after Kennedy's moonshot to reach a sustainable planet within a decade. Let's go for it. So here is evidence and proof that on September, 3 months before Williams announcing his Earthshot, we have Ignace Shops, Belgium environmentalist Ignace Shops, talking about an Earthshot. And also, Ignace Shops, on January 25th, Ignace Shops did like a seminar, I guess. It's like he did a nature in the neighborhood presentation on January 25th. And Ignace Shops talked about Earthshot. He said, in 1961, Kennedy expressed the wish that men could fly to the moon within 10 years. Moonshot. $40 billion was available. It worked. It worked at great speed to realize moonshot. That was possible within a short period of time. The arrival of the smartphones was also possible in a very short period of time. So why couldn't we solve today's planetary problems in a short period of time? Can't we also make an Earthshot now, within 10 years, back to nature? So when they announced all that stuff, we hadn't heard anything about Earthshot, and then, in October, when Scobie, when they announced it and Scobie wrote this article, one of the squaddies posted about Ignace Shops. And you're like, who? Ignace Shops. That Prince William wasn't the person that came up with it. It was Ignatius. And we're all like, what? You know? And then we backtrack. And then they posted this post from the Goldman Prize. And it was like, we were like, are you serious? And so when they posted what the Goldman Prize said, we were all like, oh my gosh, you know, and then so Squatty obviously, you know, do what Squatties do. We went investigating, well, what is the Goldman Prize? So someone then wrote, you know, like what the Goldman Prize was, only to realize the Goldman Prize literally is referred to as the environmental Nobel. We were all, you know, people started investigating only to find out that the Goldman Prize is exactly what the Earthshot Prize claimed to be. You know, the Goldman Prize is a grassroots, or, you know, it's an organization that gives prize money to grassroots organizations from around the world, from each corner of the world. And you wouldn't believe who is one of their winners. You guessed it, 2008, Ignatius. The same person who they wrote about, who came up with Earthshot. And so what basically happened is Earthshot Prize, or Prince William, basically ripped off their model to model Earthshot Prize after. And we started, when they Kensington Palace post, we started tagging Kensington Palace and the Goldman Prize with this. It's like, oh my gosh, Earthshot Prize is ripping off your prize. And then on the 8th, Goldman Prize, like the morning, Goldman Prize still had the Ignatius post on their site. By 3 o'clock that evening, on the 8th, on October 8th, they took down the post. And we were like, what? And then they replaced it with this post. And it was like, oh my goodness. So I don't know whether it's, you know, they just didn't want to have like anything, you know, like or they don't want to have a big deal about it or make a big deal out of it. Or maybe Kensington Palace, you know, contacted them like, you know, can you guys just, you know, maybe take that down, and, you know. But next thing you know, they put up this in support of the Earthshot Prize. And then later, I saw a post from Kensington Palace where they're supporting the Goldman Prize. So I don't know, maybe, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of thing happened there, you know. But it's kind of interesting that when you think about Earthshot, that it didn't originate with, you know, it did not originate with Prince William, that it was, you know, Ignatius, you know. And again, Ignatius is really, he is an environmentalist. I think he actually was responsible for Belgium having one of their biggest parks. So he is a real deal as an environmentalist. So he is really, that's his thing. So it is very interesting to, you know, to look back and be like, you know, William, you this, but, you know, to be fair, we are petty and we're biased, but we're also about facts. Because, you know, if you go on the Europark site, one of the things that you will see on the Europark site is sustainable tourism, you know, i.e. travelers. And so it talks about, you know, just the model basically is the same, where, you know, they focus, the only difference is like they focus more on Europe, where it's like, you know, protecting the areas that most tourists would go and basically you trample on the sites because it's just the most popular tourist destinations. And so they make sure that definitely work to make sure that those sites are protected and making sure that the community around, you know, those areas benefit from tourism, etc. So it's kind of the same model as Travelers, you know. So again, to be fair, that's there. The difference is that Harry's is more worldwide, and Europark, again, it's Europe. They really focus on Europe. So, and Harry's is more, and so yeah, and you know, we have Google now, we have CO2 emissions on Google flights and all of that. So Harry's is more expansive than theirs, but again, it's there. But it's just really interesting to me that, you know, William's big initiative is not really William's. I mean, there is a little bit of difference in the sense that, you know, the Goldman Prize is more about, you know, grassroots defending the earth and those people. And then Earthshot is more people coming up with innovative ideas of how to save the earth. So there is that little bit of difference, but the model of it is the same. But anyway, what else is there? Oh my goodness, one of the last thing is that Melba's was on television. She was on the Wendy Williams show, and talking about just what an impact the Meghan and Harry had on her when they came, and also just how impactful the $25,000 was to her and her staff. Like she divided that up for her staff. That $25,000. So it's just amazing how, she talks about, it was for it's for the community. That whole thing she shared with her community, and it was so amazing to see how what Meghan and Harry did for her just impacted her whole community. So it was amazing, and yeah. So anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you for joining me in the park. If you like what you see and you like what you hear on the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button to know when we drop a video, and definitely drop us a line in comments. Share with us your 2 cents. I want to hear your 2 cents. Pamela want to hear your 2 cents. So please share that with us. And if you also, if you're interested in supporting this channel in other ways, we do have PayPal and Cash App. Of course, there's no obligation, but if you want to support us in that way, yeah, thank you. You can also support us by we do have merchandise as well, so please feel free, jump on the site and see what you like. Right now I really could use a mug of really, really hot chocolate because it's cold out here. Yeah. A lady just walking by and she's like, yeah. So yes, I could really use that right now. But anyway, thank you guys. I hope you are well, and I will see you next time. Bye.